Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another box opening with Pastimes. I'll be your host today, Paul, along with Mike.
Hello.
And today we're going to be opening Core 2021. Now, Core 2021 is another in the long history of core sets in Magic, but I feel, and many would agree, that Core 2021 has a lot more excitement to offer than just about any core set in my memory. How about you, Mike? What do you feel about Core 2021?
Core 2021, it looks like it has some cool cards. I haven't seen too much on it. Yeah, Yo-Yo's first time hearing Paul. I think anybody's first time hearing Paul, at least on these streams.
I don't talk ever.
Exactly. Last time that we did Magic stuff, it was Davis and I for Ikoria. So it's been a couple months. I apologize for the camera being wonky. I don't know why it. Technical difficulties. It's trying. Yeah, it's just always going to be annoying.
It's going to pulsate.
Exactly.
It's pulsating on the Magic at least,
exactly,
so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's our heartbeats as we open for it. So, Paul, is there anything that we're kind of like looking for here?
Well, there's a lot of big hits, a lot of neat stuff throughout the pack. So we're going to be taking this first box a little bit slower, looking through all the slots, because Wizards has decided to kind of pepper these packs with interesting stuff throughout. There's some big hits. There's, of course, our boy Teferi. We have Ugin's back. Also Grim Tutor. So we'll be looking out for any of those. But
that's a fairy that we're kind of looking for. That's the the extended art promo.
That is that would be I guess the extended art showcase promo. Those can appear in the packs as opposed to all the other extended art, as well as all of the showcase versions of these cards, and there are a lot. So We'll be looking at a few of those, hopefully, as we go throughout the box.
There you go, Yo. That's at least one that you can keep an eye out for. If you see that, holler in the chat.
Yep.
Blue's Clues style. Also, real quick, looks like Fluffy DK asking, hello, do you know a lot about Alpha and Beta tournament starter deck? I have one of them, but I don't know which one. Paul, do you have any tips on what the differentiator would be?
Well, I couldn't really tell you without seeing it. Luckily here, we have someone who's pretty good at that stuff. He's our manager, Zach. So if you want to bring it on by, if that's something you're available to do, you can definitely have someone here look at it. If not, you could reach Zach at his email. Type that in the chat for, and maybe send some pictures, and you'll be able to look at it. Unless. All right, so are we ready to jump into this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with this pile.
That's
all right.
the winner.
Okay.
So in this one, what's the setup for it? Is it like commons in the front? Because I know they've been swapping. All right, I see that there's
okay. So this is going to be different from what I've seen before. These it looks like they are the Japanese print runs. So we're going to have our rares in front, and then we're going to have the basics in the back.
Do we want our desserts first?
I think we'll have our desserts first, unless you want me futzing over here.
Fine, yeah.
I'll set them up like this for us. Start out with Joriel, the Recluse. This one's pretty neat. I don't know about competitive level purposes, but it's definitely going to have a casual draw. Plus the cat tokens for this one are really good. Shrines are back. I didn't expect that, but here they are. For everyone who was clamoring for more shrines, we got them. All right.
Yeah, no worries, right? I mean, if you got any questions, feel free to ask, though. But yeah, it is a little different from Pokemon, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's all fun. So,
in case anyone was worried about Opt going out of standard,
exactly, yeah.
No worries there. Nothing special in that one, but not a bad pack. This one's going to be interesting to see how everything kind of turns out over time. There's definitely a lot of interesting potential in a core set for a change. I mean, we've got dogs now.
Dogs are back.
Sorry.
Pack leader.
Yep, this is the pack leader. Friendship with hounds is over. Best friend is now dogs. Rewind in standard. Take that as you will.
A closer look at that dog for those of you who might not be familiar.
It's a doggo lord.
Good looking dog, yeah. Plus, what is that? +1/+1 to all dogs.
Mm-hmm. And then you print all the
all
combat damage.
Hell yeah.
I don't know how powerful dog's going to be in the standard meta, but Commander definitely wants that.
Yeah.
Here's our first alternate. Basics. The basic slot, you have a chance to get that, a regular land, or these dual life gain lands. But these are real neat. It's a nice twist on the showcasing. So far showcases have been in the past 3 standard sets, but those were all kind of like new plane-centered sets. So the theming could be around the set itself. Here they're doing it for a core set, which is a little bit more difficult because you've got like 5 or more distinct like kind of aesthetics that they're going for.
Aren't they basing them off like the, I guess what would you call like the iconic planeswalker?
Yeah.
Colors. So like the white ones are all Gideon based, right?
Well, no, not Gideon anymore. It's I forget his name. Bauer Set. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yes. So all of his cards have this Maquette style, and then it's his kind of like distinction in here. It's very sandy and white. Neat looking card. Ooh, and here's our first mythic, Baneslayer. Used to be known as Bankslayer back in its original print, when this card was like, I don't know, $30 to $50. I don't believe it's anywhere near that anymore, but a powerful card is a powerful card nonetheless. I think it's kind of on the cheaper end right now. Might want to look into picking up some of these if you're planning on playing standard, or if you just want to have a very solid angel. Keep that mythic up there for us. Is that viewable? Okay, good.
Yeah, there we go.
Quirion Dryad.
Staples art too, by the way.
Yes.
I was always a fan of this card. I never knew if it was good or not, but like when I'd see it in earlier printings, well, that's a damn good looking card.
Baneslayer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And here we've got Korean Dryad. Nothing too crazy. I just like the fact that it used to be a rare and now it's a sweet uncommon. Makes sense. All right.
Yeah, Yo-Yo. If you're used to just Pokemon arts, yeah, these are. I mean, I guess it's it's all subjective, but I kind of like the Magic art a little bit more, just because it's a lot more like painterly stuff, like Baneslayer. Like it's a lot of it was like traditionally done, and they would just like take a high-res scan of it as the art. Some of it is still digital artists, but for the most part, it's a lot of traditional media, like acrylics on canvas as the actual cards art. So I'm a fan of it.
Pokemon's got a lot of strange art over the years, too. A lot of people, if they're not actively playing the game, they wouldn't realize of all different styles Pokemon cards come in. They just kind of like know the more cartoonish style that is printed on like the main artwork. But just like Pokemon, Magic has lots of unique art styles that you'll see from time to time. A lot of the artists get a following, do their distinction right now. I would say Seb McKinnon is.
Oh yeah,
he's got some really good stuff going for him. I think he's got some art in this set. I forget off the top of my head though.
Yeah, I forget which ones. I saw some of them in the spoilers. But
now this card, it's neat. But what's really cool about this card is a token. Hopefully we'll get one. If you haven't seen it in foil, I would definitely take the chance to, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Magic.
Fluffy. Yeah, hopefully he can get back to you on that and let you know what the difference is.
Yeah. Magic tokens have come a long way to where you get to actually see some neat ones, and I'm like, man, that's cooler than the rest of the pack. Like this cat token. Doesn't want a whole bunch of those.
Couple comments here from Yo-Yo. One, I love the Yu-Gi-Oh ones too. It's really different compared to these cards. Yeah, definitely. Because also, Paul might know, isn't Yu-Gi-Oh just one artist? Am I crazy? Or
no. I believe Yu-Gi-Oh's original sets had like it was all done by one person. Now it's they've got a whole slew of them.
It looks the art styles still seem kind of similar, at least in that. Whereas like in this, you definitely get like a whole kind of swath, similar with Pokemon too, because with Pokemon sometimes we even have like here's just like a claymation, like actual photograph of a Pokemon card, whereas the other one like here's a painted one versus here's just some like digital art ones. So I like the variety in like Magic and Pokemon more.
Here's our first foil rare of the box, Teferi's Ageless Insight. If you would draw a card, except the first one you draw on each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. Pretty powerful effect, similar to what's written on El Hamarat's Archive, minus the life gain. This time it costs a little bit less, you just got to pay blue.
There we go. Got it popped up on the screen here. Cody Braun asking, rares at the front of the pack now.
Yeah, that's a thing that's happened for a little while now, but it's only usually for like the first print run with the Japanese printers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember it seemed like it was just like the Japanese, like the War of the Spark ones were kind of
yeah. You can tell by when you look and feel the packs too, they've got a bit more air in them, a little bit more room to work around with as opposed to the other printers, which are tighter. Sometimes they'll even come, not usually out of the box, but sometimes you'll see they'll have the little hole punch at the top here for like when you put them in hangers.
Yo-Yo also asks, by the way, are these cards also like in rotation and stuff, and do cards also get banned? Yeah, it's similar to Pokemon, whereas Pokemon, I think it's just standard and extended, just the 2 formats.
Yeah.
Magic has standard, and modern is kind of like the extended, but then also a handful of other formats. But yes, they do rotate out, like standard rotates out, similar to Pokemon, where every few months, like, what about like 5 or 6 sets are still in standard, and then after a few come out, they kind of shift forward and cut off the oldest 3 or so.
Yeah, right now standard's at its like largest volume in terms of sets. With the next set after this, we're gonna have a swap of, I believe, Core 20 and all of the Ravnica blocks, including War of the Spark, and then standard will just be what's left, and I think it's the Return to Zendikar set. I don't know its actual name. And yes, cards do get banned. It didn't used to happen as often, but with more formats and crazier cards and a few other factors, Standard has been seeing at least rather larger amount of bans, but that's usually for the long-term health of the game. I can't really argue with too many of them. It's usually only a few cards here and there. Another doggo.
Yo-Yo asks, Paul probably plays this game a lot. I don't know if there's an online game of this. There is, Yo-Yo. It's called Magic Arena.
It is, yep, here you go. Magic the Gathering Arena. It's free to play, standard draft sealed, and more. Play anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Exactly, yeah, Yo-Yo, if you hop on there, we could play you. Because now they recently kind of like, I mean, quote-unquote recently, like in the last couple months, they added like the friend feature where you can like direct battle somebody, so.
They've also got, Brawl, which is Command Your Light, and they have Historic, which is all of the cards, because the game's been out for a couple years now, so it's got some of the sets that have rotated out and a few other cards added just for the keeping the format varied. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
A lot of interactions.
I think it's similar to like the Pokemon.
Woo!
Oh, hello.
Oh, here we got a big hit. We have Ugin the Spirit Dragon. So this is the extended art version of the card, not the showcase per se. He's an 8-cost colorless planeswalker. It's +2. Gives you 3 damage to any target. -X to exile each permanent with card mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. And then his -10 is you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and put up to 7 permanents from your hand onto the battlefield. It's a big flashy card with big flashy effects. This card dominated some of the standard scene when it first came out back in Fate Reforged. In fact, that was back when I was playing Standard. That was one of my favorite Standard decks at the time. Mono Black Ugin Control. You were a terrible person. You did terrible things, and it was great.
That looks rude. Torajima asks, nice, $40-ish?
I think that's about right now. The prices before were kind of solid in that area. Now that the set's actually out, you're going to start seeing the fluctuation in movement. It might come down more than that as more get open. We've got collector boosters and whatnot, but this card's going to see play in some extent standard, so I can't imagine it being too cheap. And now this card, as you see, takes the place of the rare slot. Now the 6 planeswalkers that have extended art will show up in the rare slot. The rest of the extended arts take up the foil slot, so sometimes you can get 2 rares in a pack like that. I'll put you over here.
Front and center. Yogi says, my girlfriend will kill me if I start another game. She's already complaining after me spending a nice amount of time on that. Yeah, the nice thing, Yo-Yo, is that Magic the Gathering Arena, MTG Arena, it's free to play, but it is, kind of, I assume it's similar to the way for Pokemon Online of you can spend money to, like, buy the virtual pack, but you also get an in-game currency that you could also use to buy packs. So in theory, you could never spend $1 on it.
And get everything you want.
And get something you want. It just takes a little bit more time. And also they say that card, the Spirit card, is like a full art card, or are there different types still?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, this one, go back to it, this is different art, and it's got the extended borders.
Yeah.
There's then also 2 technically different types of this card as well. The original version, which takes the Fate Reforged art, and then there is the showcase version of that, which will have Ugin style for, kind of like this.
And by the way, I guess a quick reminder, any of these cards that we're opening right here, they are going into, our online inventory. So these will be ones that are obviously purchasable. If there's any that you jump out that you want to grab right now, feel free to message in the chat and we can set it aside for you.
So here we have like the Liliana version of her uncommon. Each of these showcase cards is going to be the mythic, the rare, and uncommon, and then a common. So for all the black ones, they're Liliana themed. Like if you, I don't know if you can see right now, but even if you look in the text box itself, it's got her kind of headdress symbol on here. And they're all, of course, kind of zombie themed.
Spooky.
Spooky. All right.
And yeah, Yo-Yo extended art is kind of like the Pokemon equivalent.
They're also called like Borderless, or they've got a number of different names. I believe the official Wizards is extended, but we won't try to. Ooh, a foil Sanctum of Calm Waters. You got to get all your foil shrines now, or your shrine EDH decks. Temples are back. Don't know if anyone was asking for it, but we got them now. Grasp of Darkness, solid card. Used to be an uncommon, now it's a common, so that should be pretty good for limited if you're playing any sort of black. And then, of course, we've got the best limited card, Garruk's Gorehorn, in his special version. It's a 7/3 for 5, and has this nice empty text box for you to write messages in.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, hello.
You could doodle anything you want in there.
Goblin Wizards, because that's something we're allowed to have. Hooded Blightfang. This card's kind of interesting because when Ikoria came out, we had a bunch of like Keywood tribal. So I was curious to see if that would continue in later sets and to like what extent that would be like played with. And so here we have a guy that cares about you having tons of dudes with Death Touch. So Death Touch is always a fun ability. Not a bad card. Kitesail Freebooter's back. I loved that back in Ixalan Limited. I hated to see it against me, but I love to play it. Okay. Halffood.
Yo-Yo asks, how much do these packs go for? I think I saw some in the comic store I went to. I have some pictures of it. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Yo-Yo, by the way, I'd still love to see if you could post any of those crazy... Paul, I don't know if you might know, but Yo-Yo is from Belgium.
Okay.
So they went to a comic store recently, and I asked if they could take pictures of it, because I'm always curious what it's like over there. But
That'd be neat.
But yeah, they say that they saw that. But yeah, these packs are just... $4.99 or no, $3.99. Yeah, $4 US. We usually do 3 for $10 for standard stuff like that. So the packs themselves usually aren't that crazy, but some of the cards there can definitely be worth quite a bit more.
Then they can come like we opened a box as you saw at the start, which has 36, which is like 100 template tax. Where if you bought them out, 4 a piece, it's cheaper to buy a box depending on how many you want. There's usually always some kind of deal as you go higher and higher in the amount. We have another mythic in this box. We got Baz Maquette. He's a 3 mana, 3 loyalty white planeswalker, taking the spot of Gideon, RIP. Put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature, gains an strike 1 end of turn. -2 whenever you 1 or more non-token creatures attacks this turn. Create that many 1/1 white soldier creatures, tokens that are tapped and attacking. Pretty solid. And then -6, you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. This is a fairly reasonably costed loyalty ability and requirement-based planeswalker, I feel. He's kind of the lower end of the planeswalker, I guess, price range right now, but there's a lot of potential with him, depending on what kind of white weenie or more aggressive attack style white decks pop up in the future. I keep an eye on Baz Maquette.
Yeah, he was also the one who all of the showcase,
Yes.
The white cards are based off of, or themed off.
Hopefully we get a showcase planeswalker so we can get that full effect going.
Yeah.
Chrome Replicator, Oh, who else would you trust watching your back other than yourself? Neat little uncommon artifact creature. Also, we have Sharks. First appeared in the last set Ikoria, making a return. Hopefully we get more Sharks in the future. Get a nice Shark tribal going.
Purging says Basiri plus Helia, perhaps.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Just go mono white good stuff. Ooh, alright. This one's kind of nice. This is the Chandra themed showcase, the Mountain. Got a nice fire effect. I've seen foils of these too. They're really pretty. Containment Priest. Solid card. I suppose this is your anti-Baz Maquette card in Baz Maquette's colors. Containment Priest has an interesting history. First came out years and years ago as a card in a commander set. Immediately became like an all-star hit in that format. I believe it also saw some Vintage or Legacy play. Super high demand, super low, supply due to only being in a sealed box product. Got another reprint, I believe, in another commander themed set or something along those lines. But excellent addition to standard. Here's another Basri themed card, is Acolyte, Cat Cleric. You can really see it pop up in the bag of here. It's his crest. If you look at his chest over here, it's got the theme, it's styled after Oketra, as she appeared on the plane of Amonkhet before she got all deaded. He's still, I believe the story is he still follows her teachings, despite what's happened, because, you know, it's just a good belief system he feels, so he's still spreading the good word of Oketra. Wears her on his chest, and you can see here in the back of his style cards, you've got that Oketra kind of ornamental look.
Yeah, so I got the normal one up there, and then I'm gonna swap on over here to the difference of wabam. Look at that, fancy. Yuri says I'm gonna head to bed. Try to join you guys next stream. Yeah. I think we might be doing the same thing tomorrow. I think cracking open some more packs and streaming them. But yeah, if we do, if not, Yo-Yo will be back on Sunday. I think Royce and I will be cracking open and building some Gunpla. And then on Monday, back to Pokemon as usual. So, but yeah, have a good one, Matt, and we'll see you later.
Fierce Empath is a nice addition to Standard and, I believe, Pioneer. It's always been a fun card in EDH format, so I'm curious to see how it might see some more constructed competitive play. Of course, it wouldn't be a Magic set without a Colossal Dreadmaw.
Good luck with the pass call. I'll watch the video on YouTube.
Oh, sweet. We put these on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. These go out to Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, Yo-Yo, I want to see that. I want that homework on my desk for the book club on Wednesday. No more excuses, my man. And then, yeah, Baby Yoda says, which one of you guys think it's more fun to play, the online version or offline? I mean, usually with all things, kind of the offline, because you get to actually sit down, you get to play with people, you get to, have the interactions.
See, I believe it's offline, but at the same time, I've been playing offline for a solid decade, so I might be some bias there.
Exactly.
The online is nice to, you can't always have a friend group ready to play, depending on what your format. There's travel involved, not everyone's able to do stuff, space, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So the
pros and cons.
Yeah, but the backfall to be able to, play on Arena is real nice, especially because I think Arena's right now the best rendition of any Magic Online.
Oh yeah.
In a while, so definitely a nice thing to try out. See if it's your cup of tea. Teferi's Tutelage, special version.
Ooh, fancy. Yeah, exactly. Torjima, we'll have to give you some more of the pack opening ASMR. They say physical packs make a more satisfying crinkly sound when you open them.
Oh, they do. Ooh, they also smell.
These ones, like you said, that are looser, you're really getting
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
ASMR. Paul and Mike open packs for you while giving you a haircut.
There's also the on-site benefit of the smell of fresh cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look at here. Our second foil rare is Fable Passage. First printed in Throne of Eldraine. It was immediately a big hit in the Standard and even, modern scene. It's just more fetches. Always good to have more fetches. It's nice to see a reprint on this card kind of fast. Because I just think this is going to be in demand for quite some time. And with Throne rotate, Throne's going to be in for a while. Throne and this are going to be in for a little bit more, but solid to see. Solid and foil, very pretty card.
Yeah, fancy. Because that one was getting pretty expensive, wasn't it? Because I mean,
it got fairly expensive. At least the foils I know for sure. Where you could always, of course, get the extended ones, which are really expensive. I think those are like $100 for the foil extended for a while. And of course, we got a big whale.
It's a big whale.
That is a big whale. Not to be confused with Yu-Gi-Oh's
exactly, yeah.
big whale.
Big whale. Got to fight off those sharks somehow.
Yep. Here's Liana's common version, her Steward. Nice little zombie servant. All nice and purpley.
Okay, yeah. Torjima says, yeah, it's portable now. Regular core 21 version is $4 or $5.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the foil is. Probably maybe 10-ish. We'll see. Leading out a Standard Bearer, Solid Zombie Knight, Flash. When it enters the battlefield, drives cards, where X is the number of creatures that died and you control this turn. Good for 2 tribes, and probably just generally a good black card in Standard. Big old demon. Heroic Intervention. That's a welcome return for this card as well. This one was, again, pretty expensive. It wasn't that big a deal, I believe, when it came out. I could be wrong, but I don't remember it being as kind of ridiculous as it got in the past year or so. It was originally from Aether Revolt, I believe, but then became really popular in the Commander format. I think the normal version was going for like $10, $15 at its height, so good to see this in Standard. I'm sure it's going to see a lot of play. Meteorite, for when you need your mana rocks to deal damage.
A literal rock.
Oh, yeah. A little bit halfway through the box now. Got 3 fairly good mythic hits, solid amount of special cards, and some really good rares and foils. So,
and I think we're going to open up, what, like two boxes? So.
Yeah, 2 boxes today. Like I said earlier, this one's a little bit slower as we look at all the cards. Yeah. Second one we can... Well, we're veterans at that point. Ooh, Thieves Guild Enforcer has some potential. It's for your neat rogue tribal. 1/1 for 1 with Flash. Whenever Thieves Guild Enforcer and another rogue enters the battlefield, you control each opponent mills 2 cards. We got mill as an actual word in Magic now. You might not believe it, but up until this point, it wasn't officially referred to as mills. It was always just put the top of their deck into their graveyard or some effect like that. As long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in the graveyard, Thieves Guild Enforcer gets +2/+1, has Death Touch. So, a lot of potential here. I don't know how many rogues are in Standard. There's that nice Robber of the Rich from Throne of Eldraine, so you can build your fun little red-black aggro mill rogue deck, and possible altercations in Modern, but we'll see.
The garbage where you belong.
I gotta read a code. Oh, look at that. Little foil cat.
Ooh, that's a fancy cat.
Oh. And Temple of Milady. Bad deal. Might be a good deal in EDH. The best deal.
What's that card do?
It's a 6-mana sorcery. You draw 2 cards, and each opponent discards 2 cards. Then each player loses 2 life. Okay. So it's a little twist on the, old black. Like what is it? Read the. I forget the name. But 3-mana sorceries that draw you 2 cards and lose you 2 life is very common in black. So here for 6 mana, you can do that and then some. Hurt your opponents real bad. Finishing Blow, I just like because, well, it's 5 mana, destroy target creature or planeswalker instant speed common. That's going to be limited to All-Star, but I just think the art's real sweet too. I'm not too familiar with Wild Beckert's stuff, at least not off the top of my head, but this one stands out as far as commons go in this set. Here's Baz Maquette's emblem.
Good.
Woo! Look at that. We've got a Grim Tutor. Normal version, but still, we'll take it. Grim Tutor is very interesting for a few reasons, like just outside, face value here. Grim Tutor was from a, I believe, Portal starter set from like 99 or something along those effects. And it's essentially your usual Daemonic, Diabolic Tutor effect for 3 mana, and then you lose 3 life. It was upwards of like $200 for the other, because this is the first time it's been printed since that. in formats like EDH, good tutor effects, there's a lot out there, but it's hard to get them all. So once you've got like the easy to get ones like your Daemonics and Diabolics, Vampirics that have seen some reprints, in more recent sets, Grim Tutor was one that kept going up because if you wanted to get Grim Tutor for your deck, you had to get the Portal one, and that was short supply for quite a while. So it's really neat to see Wizards putting such a expensive reprint, even though a lot of its value came from not being reprinted as opposed to being the only thing that does what it does. And then we've got a lot of versions of this card as well. You can get a nice extended version like the Egon as well, foils. So Grim Tutor's a nice one to look out for. I believe it's still like $20 or something right now. All right. Oh wait, let's put that up there with the other mythics. Keep track of the mythics. And here's the swamp. Nice look at that. Foils for these, again, really nice. I'm sure someone's going to go out of their way to get their decks all pimped out with foil basics from this set. Be interested to see what that actually looks like. Spore Web Weaver is an interesting card as well. Spiders generally give you reach, some kind of blocking effect. This one has hexproof from blue, which might seem a little strange at first, but then whenever he is dealt damage, you get to gain 1 life and create a 1/1 green starveling creature token. So, outside of black, if this guy is going to be blocking or being removed, he's going to be getting you a buddy and some life, maybe multiple. So, not unsummoning this dude. Tormad's Crypt. It's a nice one to see in standard as well. Ooh, alright. Here's our first foil showcase card, Leon Steward. As you can see here, I think the purple ones are going to stand out the most. That color always has a habit of being decent in foil. You can see these little candles really sticking out there. Neat card. Alright. Ah, here he is. Conspicuous Snoop. It's a 2-mana 2/2 Goblin Rogue. Play with the top of your library revealed. You may cast Goblin spells from the top of your library. As long as the top card of your library is a Goblin card, Conspicuous Snoop has all activated abilities of that card. Now this card is going to see a lot of play in Modern. I believe that Black-Red Goblins is already like, you know, top 5 currently in terms of Modern meta right now. But this guy has a really neat combo where you play him, then you play what is it, the Goblin from Shadowmoor that goes and finds a Goblin in your deck, puts it on top. You go get Kiki Jiki. You use Conspicuous Snoop, now has all the activated abilities of Kiki Jiki. You end up making 1,000,000 Conspicuous Snoop Kiki Jikis. Once you have enough, you make a copy of the Tutor Goblin again, and then you go get one of the many goblins that allow you to sack goblins for free to deal damage or gain life or anything, and then you just ping out your opponent for infinity. Really neat, kind of a fun, fast combo. We'll see how it lasts in the meta over time, but for right now, it's a card to look out for. And then we have a Scavenging Ooze full art. This card has seen a lot of play over time in its standard and modern meta. Now we get a new full art one. Used to be really expensive too because this card was originally again, commander print only. Started seeing play in the Eternal formats. Pretty doing good in Commander, and then it was originally then reprinted in, what was it, 2015 or 2014? One of those older core sets, and then that kind of stabilized everything. It's back now, so we'll see how that plays out. Put you over there. It's nice that we got 2 full arts in one box. I think the average is like just slightly above 1, you know, like 1.5. So there you go. Vito Thorn of the Dusk Rose. This guy's got some hype around him. 3 mana 1/3, but he's got this text right here, which is important. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Those effects have always been popular. You can now get on a body, on a vampire no less, and then he's got bonus right here for 5 mana. Creatures control gain lifelink until end of turn. So he has a way for you to basically kill your opponent by gaining life, and then a way to give all you guys lifelink. Solid. We'll see if he's going to be anything in standard. You'll definitely probably see a lot of play in Commander. Alright. You might want to clean up my piles a little bit. Comment's getting kind of up there. All right, last stack of 12. Box 1. Foil Furious Rise. Theros Beyond Death reprint. Another Temple. And just hiding in the back there, we've got Teferi's Protege, his little common showcase card. Ooh, Chromatic Orrery. This one is a new card. It's not a reprint like Baneslayer Angel was, or Grim Tutor. This is a 7 mana legendary artifact. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. Then you have tap, add 5 colorless, which can then be used as any color. And then you've got also 5 mana, tap, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. Big, flashy, mythic artifact. I don't know if we'll see too much of it in Standard, but this is going to be a Commander All-Star. There are some big Ugin decks I've seen in Standard right now, so they might want to get flashy over time, throw this in there as well, do some neat stuff. Anything that allows you to spend mana, though, mana of any color is abusable to some extent somewhere, so I'm sure this will be popping up in decks for quite some time. Starveling Entity is also an interesting one. It's a 5 mana 3/3 flyer with prowess. When it comes into play, you get to scry 2. Already not a bad deal, but the spell costs 1 blue and 2 colorless less if you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. So you get quite the nice discount for a little extra mana somewhere else. And then at that point, you know, everything else is gas. Right, Mike?
Yeah, I'm back. Who would guess it's busy when a new set comes out?
Well, we got a couple neat hits. as well since you last left. Chromatic
Oh, hell yeah.
Orrery, Scavenging Ooze, some solid more rares. We did a nice little talk about.
Is that new art on that guy? Hell yeah. Ooh, hold on now. Let me take a look at that.
Oh, I haven't seen the Ooze. Yep.
I've not.
Cultivate has also got a much needed reprint. Not too expensive, but always in demand. As well, there's going to be a special version of it like these guys too, which is beautiful. A little goblin wizard. We've got the basic Garuk forest. Also very nice. I've seen these foiled as well. The green pops out. Life goes on.
Fancy.
Here's another one. We opened a foil this earlier, but now we've got the showcase version. You can see the border much different, as well as the symbol for the stamp is a tiny circle as opposed to the kind of oval you get on the other ones.
I'm digging that one.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Getting down to what the packs looks like.
Yeah, just a few more packs left in box one. I'll look over what we got. Niambi, Esteemed Speaker. This is her second card. Technically, I believe she had a version, what was that, in a Teferi theme deck. This one follows kind of the same flavor as the last one in caring about legendaries. This is the daughter of Teferi, and she's got Flash. When she enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, you gain life equal to that creature's converted mana cost. Not bad for a 2/1 Flash, blue-white. But on top of that, then you can pay blue-white and 1 to tap and discard a legendary card to draw 2 cards. Solid amount of abilities. You get its instant speed, you get an immediate effect, and then you can start drawing cards with it later. Not bad for a 2-mana 2/1.
You pull that stuff now.
Yeah, I put it over there.
Oh, it's up there. Oh, that's true.
Glorious Anthem. Anthem effects are always good. 3 mana, give all your entire team 1/1.
Can't go wrong.
Nope. Or can you? Chandra's Magmut.
What did you call me?
I called you out. You heard me. This is Chandra's common showcase card. It's a 2 mana 2/2. Deals 1 damage to our player or planeswalker. And we got Group's Emblem. Hopefully we'll see him at some point tonight. Godruk the Scourge. Crown Scourge. It's a 3 mana 5/4 flyer. He can attack though unless you control 4 or more artifacts. But don't worry. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. So he's basically an enchantment that gives you a treasure for a little while, and then he becomes a 5/4 flyer. Seems okay. I like treasure.
I like the way it looks.
It's got a weird face.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's draped in. If you can pull up his art real good, he's draped in just like necklaces and gold and stuff. He knows what he likes.
That'll be us soon.
I can't wait. You've got Chandra's Uncommon, the Pyreling. It's an elemental lizard. Looks neat. Foil of this one's also sweet. Most of the foils for that stuff is sweet, but I'm going to keep saying it. Wish there were 3 of them.
We didn't get Chandra's Incinerator.
We haven't got the Incinerator yet. We've got the other 2, and not Chandra. Ruined Halo. This card used to be pretty popular back in its heyday.
Was that Lorwyn or it's something?
It's one of the Lorwyn
Yeah.
sets. I forget the original. I think it was also in a modern set.
Kinfolk, that's right?
Yes, Kithkin.
Kithkin, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Choose a card name. You have protection of the chosen card name. 2 mana, 2 enchantment.
Can't get me now, Chandra's Incinerator.
Eat it. Another Garruk's Gorehorn. And yes, the Gorehorns will be available for sale after this stream.
Exactly, yeah. Everybody's just champing at the bit for those Gorehorns.
They would make excellent deck sleeves. Get 60 of those bad boys. Little foil Bone Pit Brute. Welcome to the club. Hey!
There's our boy.
Another
Yeah,
Ugin.
not
Here's
as fancy, but
here's normal Ugin in all his glory. Compared to his other art version.
you versus the guy she told you not to worry about.
Wow. Nah, I love classic Oogie. Look at him.
It's still great art, yeah.
Yep. Though he's not in this set, but back when this card came out, there was a special promo for like the pre-release called Egon's Fate, which had packs of a few cards in them, like 2 or 3, I don't recall. But it had a number of cards in the set that were like time shifted and looked different to their counterparts in the normal set. Ugin was like the big chase in that one and had special art, which I'm a huge fan of. I got a play mat of it. I don't know. Were you able to pull up other Ugin art?
The basic Ugin art? Yeah.
Well, not the basic. The Ugin Fate.
Ugin.
Yeah. Not in this set, just to show the people all the Ugins we got out there. The extended art comes close, I feel, to kind of matching that aesthetic.
This one?
No. It was from. It's not in Core 21.
Okay.
Yeah. No, if it's not, that's fine. It was a promo from Fate Before. That's a War of the Spark.
Yeah.
Yep, guess not. You got a Cat Lord, match your Dog Lord. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and have protection from dogs. That doesn't seem fair. The dog one doesn't get protection from cats.
Exactly.
What's up with this? Whenever one or more cats you control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 turn artifact or enchantment that player controls. Very flavorful. Cat's always knocking your stuff over. Destroying all your enchantments you got on your coffee table. But not bad. Cat was already kind of a try before this. Now it's got some more support. Ah, there he is.
Oh, this one?
That's the one.
Spirit Dragon?
Yep.
Oh, can't get a card of it, but
Nah, that's alright.
a sweet JPEG, though.
It's a sweet JPEG, guys. Take our word for it, everybody. It's a sweet JPEG. Look up Ugin's Fate Ugin if you got 30 seconds.
Don't worry, we got the 30 seconds for you.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Oh,
big butt.
ooh,
Hey, take a look at that.
look at him there. No, he demands the scene, you know. All right, and here's our last pack of box 1. Ooh, a foil plains and Brash Taunter. Look at this card's just sweet for its art. It's a 5-mana 1/1. What? It's got indestructible though, and whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent, and then you can have Brash Taunter tap and pay 3 mana to fight another target creature to really hurt somebody. Taunt them real good. Let's see if there's any more goodies hiding in this pack. That's fine. All right, so that's it for box 1. We end it with some real sweet rares. And how many mythics? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not mythic. 6 mythics, 2 Ugins, a Grim Tutor, a Chromatic Orrery. Wow, that's a solid box. As well as some nice alternate stuff.
I assume Borderless Ugin is the big one in this.
Borderless Ugin's the big one here. I think then I don't know how much normal Ugin is, but it's either him or Grim Tutor.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and then Chromatic Horary is just not too far behind those guys as well.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. 2 Borderless cards. Some neat foils. What else we got? What was our other rares? Fable Passage. Let's not forget about that one. And Teferi's Ageless Insight. All right. That's a hell of a box.
Pop those.
All right.
Those fellas on in here.
Yeah, let's put these guys off to the side. Put them away.
In the meantime, thanks everybody for coming on out. So that was the first box. We're going to open up one more here. Should be another hour or so, I think. Well, we're actually, I guess, a little bit quicker now that we, get the gist of some of these guys. But yeah, and as always, these guys are still going to be available for purchase. If you go to pastimes.net, the singles are now available for sale. So we could, if you see anything that you like in here, it'll be available online, or just shout us out in the chat, and we could set it aside for you.
Come on in, take a look through our wares.
Exactly, yeah. So that's one box down.
All right, where's this? Where do we go?
Stop it. Oh,
So
yeah.
what do you feel about the set so far after? Up a little bit of it, Mike.
I think it looks good.
Yep. Think when I get this boy?
Probably. He's hiding in there somewhere.
There's like 5 of him.
Exactly, yeah.
Something.
We got, oh boy, hello. We got, what was it? His insight? The one where he's holding his staff out
Well,
there?
there's one. He's got a staff, but Teferi himself in this set is a little unique because he's got his normal version in the pack. He's also got the extended, like all the other walkers. But then he's got like 4 time-shifted versions, which are based off the normal version but have slightly altered art. And then all of those have foils.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of Teferis in this box.
Yeah, that's easy. That's why he's even on the box.
Yeah.
You can't escape him.
He's on the
There he is.
packs.
He's on
Oh
the
my
packs.
god. Scary. I wonder if there's going to be a Liliana behind him.
Not this time.
Not this time.
While you're opening those ones and set them aside, we saw it a couple times. It's just a common, but I don't know. This card has my favorite art, Village Rites.
Why is that your favorite art?
I don't know. It's cool because also, what was it? Bud Cook. He did the one where it's a similar looking card. In,
Oh, he did the Tooth Collector?
Yeah, no, Village Cannibals in Innistrad, original Innistrad. It's similar art to that, but I don't know. It's just a cool.
Why does this art speak to you, Mike?
It's look at that. It's just like
It's
dudes,
kind of dark to me.
cultists, yeah.
Yeah, it's like very cultish.
Yeah, exactly. They're there. They're taking his blood. I guess they're
It's-
sacrificing him. But
It's odd that you're drawn to all these
It's imposing.
cult-like images. I don't know.
Exactly,
What's
yeah.
up with that?
Okay, here we go. Back to it. A lot of Chandras and fairies.
All right.
Which
Start
one,
with
which
this.
one do you feel that's the good
I
one?
always like to start on the right.
All right.
It's my personal preference. It's how you crack the code. All right. Box 2. Let's see if it comes close to box 1. I have hope. Sanctum of All. Now, here's the Shrine payoff card for the shrines I mentioned earlier. It's a 5 mana, all 5 colors, legendary enchantment shrine. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library and/or graveyard for a shrine card and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. If an ability of another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, that ability triggers an additional time. It's a lot of shrine.
That one's worth it. Yeah, because how do you feel about the shrine stuff? Because I was looking at this one when the spoilers came out, and it felt like you kind of need a lot going into it. Between all the different colors. I mean, granted, the shrines help you with that.
Right.
But do you think that's
Shrines,
reasonable?
I don't know what the payoff is going to be outside of just standard limited.
Yeah.
Now, for a little history on shrines, shrines have existed in another set back in Kamigawa block. Had a lot of Japanese aesthetics and history as a theme of that set. And the way shrines work, they have an effect, and then that effect happens more for every other shrine you control.
Mm-hmm.
So if a shrine says, gain 1 life, if you have 2 shrines, you'd be gaining 2 life.
Okay.
This one, it looks like it doubles, that effect. So you'd be gaining 4 life, or it's kind of nuts. EDH, there might see some play there. Unfortunately, this is like a legendary enchantment as opposed to creature, though it's better for your shrines. Could have some potential. You play all 10 or 11 shrines that there are not. You start getting some effects. Maybe it's a, it's a clue of things to come. Return to Kamigawa? We don't know.
We're back.
We're back. Tamio needs to go home at some point, I feel. Here's our boy.
They're back.
Gorehorn. Another swamp. Foil Read the Tides. Put a Blightfang again. We didn't get a weird token. Hopefully I'll get one in this box so I can show you. Sweet token. Hey! We didn't have to wait that long now, did we? Here's your boy Teferi. At least one of his normal versions. Yeah, this is a normal version, because I believe the other showcase ones have the showcase border. So here's the talk of the town. We've got a 4 mana, 3 loyalty, Planeswalker. Static. You may activate loyalty abilities if Teferi, Master of Time, on any player's turn, anytime you could cast an instant. Okay, so you get to do things on other people's turns. +1, draw a card, then discard a card. -3, target creature you don't control phases out. For those of you who haven't been around for when phasing was a thing 20 years ago, treat it and anything attached to it as though it didn't exist until its controller's next turn. So phasing out is kind of like, exile in a way, except for it's just temporary. And then anything that was attached to the creature, counters, auras, all that stuff, it phases out with it and then comes back into play as normal. It doesn't have summoning sickness or anything when it comes back. It's just gone for a while,
Paul, am I seeing this right? Is the only difference the color of that
yes,
shattering effect that's going on around?
On the other, as you see on him, he's got the shatter effect because he's breaking time. A lot of people weren't too happy about that. A lot of the legends in the set are based around the war that took place once Teferi pieced out and took time with him. The other 4 showcase versions have a different variation of this time effect.
It's like a darker blue.
It's subtle. You wouldn't really notice unless you line them up next to each other. Strange aesthetic choice, but gives us 5 times the Teferi for our Teferi needs. We'll place him right there for now. Oh, I forgot to talk about his ultimate. And his -10. Take 2 extra turns after this one. Because 1 extra turn wasn't enough.
Anybody can take 1 turn after this.
Your mom lets you take 2 extra turns? Here's your boy Village Rites.
Yeah.
There you go.
There it is.
In case the other felt like murdering someone and taking their
So
blood.
The rest of the packs, we got Teferi, we got Village Rites.
We're done. Dream's over, everybody.
But yeah, I was gonna say, pointing with that color thing. Do you think the odds of one being slightly more valuable than the other one? Or
no, I have to imagine that there might be a favorite, which might be a couple dollars more. Time will tell. Me personally, I don't like. None of them speak to me more than the others.
That just feels like a weird odd choice. It would be cool if you saw different events happening.
Yes, I would have liked the background.
When I saw there's colors. I'm like, am I seeing this right?
Yeah, you're seeing it right. Yeah, the background doesn't change as much for whatever reason.
Okay. Whatever you say, Wizards.
Wizards knows best. Here's your boy again. He's all old in this picture. What happened? He got young. That's what happens when you're a time bender. You get young. See the Truth is one I think we got in the last box. I didn't mention too much about. It's a 2-mana sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. If the spell was cast from anywhere other than your hand, put each of those cards into your hand instead. So it's got a little bit of buzz around it, and alternate ancestral visions. With a little bit more work, we shall see if this actually has any effect in some kind of comp, whether that be like modern or vintage or something. The nice thing about this core set that I have to say from other core sets in my memory. This one has a lot of buzz of potential. Lots of sets can have it, about like this card might be good, this one might not. Well, time will tell, but I haven't seen a core set that has so many, you know, potentially good cards. Another temple. Teferi's Protege alternate. Hey, see the truth.
Remember him? He's
Remember
back,
this
but
guy, he's foil. It's a
he's
sign.
shinier.
Ooh, look at that. Transmagnify.
That was character
You need to do your thing after this. I mean, they're the magic colors.
Ooh, Shacklegeist. Brings us back to the days of Innistrad. Flying 2/2. Shacklegeist can block only creature with flying. Tap 2 spirits you control. Tap another creature you don't control. Spirits has kind of been a theme deck for a little while now. I used to see, I think, some decent results in Modern. Here's a toy for it to play with. He's got a big shackle.
That is. He wasn't lying.
Another Plains, a foil seasoned Hallowblade, and another temple. We didn't get all the temples in this box. Group's Uprising. We didn't get this one in the last box. 3 mana enchantment. When Group's Uprising enters the battlefield and control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures control have trample. And whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So this style of green enchantment has existed for a while, where the power 4 or greater matters. There's been a few different variations of this. I would say this is probably the most powerful to date. It gives you immediate results if you have a creature with power 4 or greater. The creatures you do control have trample, and then whenever later you play a creature with power 4 or greater, get another card. A lot of card draw for a 3 mana green enchantment. Alright.
Couple quick ones.
Yeah. They all can't be amazing. Another Forest. Ooh, here we go. Fiery Emancipation. It's a 6 mana red enchantment. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead. A kind of a evolution of the red enchantments or red doubling damage effects. There's been tons of them throughout Magic's history. Furnace of Wrath being one most people kind of default to when thinking about doubling damage. Now we get to triple damage. When doubling wasn't enough, triple it.
What happens if you use it with that that dwarf from what was that?
From Throne of Eldraine.
Yeah.
And you get to triple it.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, he just adds.
He adds, I think, to it. So, interesting. We kind of had a little pet commander deck based around this. We were brewing here with Obosh from Ikoria as a commander. So when you start stacking these doubling and tripling effects, most of the time the math is going to check, end up the same. But in instances where it doesn't, or if it could happen differently, the opponent that's receiving the damage gets to choose the order of the doubling and tripling effects. So
Interesting.
Most of the times, like there are certain scenarios depending on the wording and those
Yeah,
effects
I was
where.
gonna say, what's the order of operations
Yeah.
with that stuff? But yeah, that's interesting.
Did not know that. Most people probably wouldn't have. Most people probably aren't going to build a deck with every double damage effect, so you can get shut someone for 40. But if you wanted to,
Now you can.
another Thieves Guild Enforcer. Lower Scale Codal's back. Always been a favorite kind of pet card of mine from back in the day. I started playing Magic when this card first came out back in Alara. Got a reprint in Modern, I believe, and now it's back in Standard. I don't know if it's going to do anything. It's just a cool snake.
Not wrong.
All right, that's the first 12 down. A couple solid mythics, some neat stuff. Treasure token. Always need those. Sublime Epiphany for when your blue instant needs to do everything. It's a 6 mana blue instant. Choose one or more. Counter target spell. Counter target activated triggered ability. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. And target player draws a card. It's a lot of stuff. And you can choose as many as you want. 6 mana is a lot though. It might see some play in the Blugan decks, which are the mono blue Ugin ramp decks, so you could possibly see it there. And Commander's going to like this one too, because, hey, if you got 6 mana and do anything with it, this gives you options.
All that and pretty cool art too.
Yeah. What's going on in there? I'm going to take a closer look at that.
Yeah.
Oops.
Ooh.
Hit the thing.
Got like a wedding cake in her head.
It's like a wedding cake of, infrastructure going on in
birds,
there.
We got butterflies.
Got a little koi fish. He was trying to take a bath.
Heck yeah.
And someone opened her mind. Isn't this like rejected art from that Lock and Key series? It was going to be on like...
We'll not take any Joe Hill insults over here.
Oof. I'll remember that. Here's the island. Oh, and here's Chandra's Incinerator. At the alternate version. It's a 6 mana 6/6 elemental. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total amount of non-combat damage dealt to your opponent this turn. So A, it could be a 1 mana 6/6. It's got trample. And whenever source deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Incinerator deals that much damage to target creature or planeswalker the player controls. Goes real nice with your fiery emancipation.
I'm a fan of that art too because I don't know, just him standing
At the broken moon.
Yeah, just.
Have you talked about the modern implications of that card yet?
What are the modern implications
The
of the
hype
card?
deck is right now you cast that on turn 2.
Ooh, that sounds
with
pretty
the
good.
old help of Riftbolt and a Lava Spike. Deck also plays Seal of Fire. You try to cast a big 6/6 on turn 2 or 3.
Seems solid. Turn we're going to move over. I like this card because I kind of wish there was 2 more of them on here so we could have a 3 elemental moon going on.
Like,
it reminds me of that.
I was gonna say like it needs to have like Chandra's face like
Yeah.
overlaid on the moon.
He's not bloody enough.
Yeah.
Look at how silent, like just mournful he is. Just
Yeah.
staring out into like whatever mountain.
All right, people good at Photoshop, get at that. I want 2 more of these guys howling.
The moon.
Pirate token. I don't think we got one of those before. Goes with your whale.
Still waiting on that weird token, right?
Yep. Here's another. Discontinuity is a 6 mana blue instant. As long as it's your turn, though, this spell costs 2 and 2 blue less to cast. So, 2 mana. End the turn. Why would you want to do that? Well, I could go into reasons, but I'll let you figure them out. Ending the turn means you exile all spells and abilities from the stack, including this card. The player whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand size. Damage wears off, and this turn and into one of turn effects end. I like this style of card. It plays around with the rules of Magic in a way you don't usually see. Curious to see if it'll have any actual competitive implications, or if you'll just end up seeing this in your friend's mono blue counterspell EDH decks.
You may like that style of card, but I just like that style of art. Like, look at that. He's just cutting right through the hourglass.
And their fingers.
Exactly. Man, what a...
Like, that person was just going to grab the hourglass. And they're like, no, no, no. The ghost, for some reason.
It might be better than Village Rites. It might be.
Yeah. Noticing a trend here.
Yeah, cool card art.
Yeah, cool card art.
Whoa, man.
Wow.
Cutting through the fingers.
There's no blood.
But that's like him at a different time.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you got to end this, man.
Yeah, turn's over, man. We're done.
Wrap it up. Karavek the Spiteful. This is a new version of a older legend. This time mono black instead of black red. 4 mana 3/2. All other creatures get -1/-1. Nice and effective there. It's on theme with his old card Allure or 2, where not even jackals would stand by his side. Probably because he killed them, because they got -1/-1. Here we have our first regular Fable Passage. A foil in the last box, but we'll take as many as we can get. Here, let's look, since we got that Sanctum, or that Shrine Legend earlier, let's take a closer look at what this one does. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the total number of shrines you control. So with that legend in effect, you would double that. So
sounds pretty good.
You at least need 6, so they'd be losing 6, and you'd be gaining 6, which would become 12 and 12. It can get out of hand real quickly. That's why also all these are legendary for the most part, because you don't want to be able to stack that effect. At least you shouldn't be able to. Unless you make the legend rule not apply. Watch out for that mirror gallery spike.
Yeah.
Oof. That's my sick meta, you know. What's it called? Monetary tip of the day. Invest. Invest in mirror gallery. Volcanic Salvo, it's another red card in this set which has like a discount. This is a big 12 mana sorcery. This spell costs X less to cast though, where X is the total power of creatures you control. So if you get a big 10/10 or 10/1/1s, or yeah, it only costs 2 red. And then you get to shoot up to 2 target creatures or planeswalkers for 6 damage. What you want to do is play this in Commander, and then you swing with Yidris, give it Cascade, and Cascade for 12.
And then you triple the damage with that enchantment, and then there you go.
Yeah, everything's dead. There's a solid red limited deck in this box so far. There's a mountain to go with it. And here's a foil red rare to go with it. We ignored this one in the last pack. Let's take a closer look at it now that it's shiny. 4 mana sorcery, exile target creature. That creature's controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. That player puts that card into the battlefield, then shuffles the rest from their library. So it's a neat effect for mono red because you get to exile a card, which red doesn't usually have that. If there's something annoying on your opponent's side, you have to burn it usually, or deal enough damage to kill it and exile it. Some cards will do, but this one just straight up exiles it. And then you get like a polymorph effect where you flip cards off the top till they get another creature and essentially replace it. So you can use it to get your opponent's big nasty creature and then hope that they've got something weaker next in line. Or you play spells that give you creatures, and then you only put Embercool in your deck, and you exile the 1/1 Kobold, and then you get a 15/15 flyer. There you go. Do that. Ooh, and Baron, we didn't get him in the last box. This is a neat mono blue legend, 3 mana 2/2. I think he might have had another version in a very old set, but I forget if it was actually Baron or somebody else, some other Tolarian Archmage. But when he comes into play, you can return up to 1 other target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. And at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent was put into your hand from the battlefield this turn, you get to draw a card. So it's got a nice kind of bounce-themed deck you can build around him, get some card advantage. Have any standard deck ideas you kind of want to brew after seeing some of the core set there, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it's been minutes since I played some standard. Like this set definitely might make me hop back on like Arena and try and tinker out with more stuff. I fell into a lot of red stuff in the past few standards, so I mean, seeing all these red cards that we're getting here is definitely making me feel like there's a lot going on that I'd like throwing bolts at dudes. That's always fun. If I get that Conscience Incinerate, I'll be happy with that one.
Just for the art.
Exactly, yeah. It's my little mournful voice howling at the moon.
Oh.
But yeah, no, it's cool. Also, just cool art on these ones. So I don't know.
Ooh, it's a full mana, 2-mana tutu. And 9 lives. So let's talk about this one for a moment.
I gotta make a cat deck now.
I think this one's a meme, but it's a really good one. 9 lives is a 3-mana white enchantment. It has hexproof. If a source would deal damage to you, prevent that damage and put a incarnation counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 lives, when there are 9 or more incarnation counters on 9 lives, you exile it, and when it leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. So now this is clearly paying homage to how dogs chase cats, I think, right? That's what it's going for? Okay. But no, this is an interesting effect. They've done things like with this before in white enchantments. Phyrexian Unlife comes to mind, where you don't lose your life for having 0. Just every time you take damage after you have less than 0 health, you get infect counters instead, and that's how you lose. This time you get 9 times to prevent damage. Could be pretty good depending on what you're going up against it. Like if you have your opponent's playing kind of a big stompy thing where he's smacking you with huge guys as opposed to lots of little guys, you can prevent the damage multiple times. Though if someone swings at you with 9 1/1s, it's not going to do much. The only other thing to watch out for is mass enchantment removal. I don't know how much of that's in standard, though I don't know how good this would be in standard anyway. Maybe some kind of white control deck wants it against the aggro matchups. But in Commander, you always got to watch out for it because most people don't play disenchant. They're gonna get rid of the board. And also your Sanctum of Tranquil Light. Tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. So I'm not. Would this mean that you could pay this to activate it and then double it up with your Sanctum of All? I think that's how that works. You get to pay 1 to tap 2 creatures.
That's what we call value.
Yep. Been drawing mythics for a while. Let's see if I can change that.
So how come? Sorry, I'm bringing this back up here. How come just there's like the one? What are they?
Okay, yeah. Let's look at the. We didn't look at that. Most of this art, I want to say, is based off of other cat cards specifically.
Yes, yeah.
This one to the right that you're pointing at is based off of. I forget her name, but there's legendary cats from Mirrodin. The Leonin there, they had armor like that. If you look up here, we've got that green-white cat beast from Ikoria. This is the other, I believe, green-white cat legend from a commander set that cared about equipment. And if we kind of went into it, I think these other ones are based off of other cat cards. I don't know anyone specifically, but this could be Stalking Tiger. What's the 2-mana 1 white drop from like Alpha and stuff? That reminds me of that.
How come no Johnny?
Well, you know what? I don't know because he's not a. I think a Johnny would fit here, but I think the reasoning might be is because he's a planeswalker, and these are all just creatures. Yeah, he's too good for it, really. He's because my first point was, well, he's not like an actual cat like these are. But then you've got this dude and her, which are like Leonin.
Yeah, I was gonna say I recognize the Leonin ones, but like beyond that, I'm just like, how come we just got like just a random tiger in there?
What's wrong with random tigers? I don't get why there's a random tiger in here because tiger cards are generally green. These are all white. These are all white. Well, actually, some of these are green white, green white, green white, white. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
That's enough.
Those, I was.
I wanted to talk about the art, but there
Inquiring
was so
minds
much.
needed to know how come I only saw like one actually Leonin and then the rest are just like cat.
I know, probably because they were given the okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
they might have had a list of okay cats to draw from when the art request was put out.
We found her.
Yep. She was lost, but now is found. Azusa lets you play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. This card has been a EDH All-Star for quite a while. It's also seen play in some of the modern, like, green-red Stompy decks, Titan decks. She is a 3-mana 1/2, Human Monk, legendary. Play 2 additional lands. Wow. That's 3 lands in a single turn. This card has had a very interesting history. I don't think it had much hype when it came out in Kamigawa. But as time went on, it became a EDH All-Star, got a reprint in one of Master sets. It had a Judge promo. It's had a lot of stuff to kind of like fight its price being so high, because I think it was almost $30 before this set. It's going to drop drastically, of course, just being a right here, but the demand, I can't imagine, will go anywhere except maybe up. I want to see what standard Azusa is going to do. Hopefully neat things. Or it'll just be used to ramp out your Ugins even faster. You'll find out that I think about this current stand about, like, how can I build an Ugin
I
deck?
was gonna say, an Egon dominated stand.
Yeah, it's all about my boy.
Well, good thing we got him in what was it? It was regular and then
regular and then
full art.
yeah, full art. Ooh, also Solemn's back in the set, in case you needed more new ways. Another EDH All-Star. I don't recall it being ever too instrumental in when it was in standard or modern, but you know, good cards are good cards. It's a 4-mana 2/2 artifact golem. When he enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put on battlefield tapped, and when he dies, you get to draw a card. That's a lot of stuff I like for 4 mana and colorless.
How do you feel about the fact that he doesn't look that solemn?
A lot of people, I've had mixed replies about this art. I'm not a huge fan compared to the other two,
Yeah,
but
me
that's just kind of like, there might be bias there, just, nostalgia factor.
So here, I'll have to pull this up. The alternate, what is this, the Borderless?
That is the extended Borderless alt art.
That one looks infinitely better.
That one's really cool. It says his nickname for a long time was Sad Robot, and this is not a sad robot. This is a metal robot. He goes to concerts, rocks out.
Like that one, like
he's sharp and pointy.
Yeah, this one looks like pointy, sharp, and angry. I'm swapping over here for those watching. Here's the Borderless one, and there we go. Like, look, I just staring off into space, like sand just like falling through his fingers. Like there's like
he's contemplated
things.
things.
He doesn't even have a face, but like it actually like just the emotions that we're feeling here. It's far. I don't know. As a man who wants his robots to be as sad as they can be.
I like my music sad.
Yeah.
I like my coworkers sad.
Exactly.
I like my robots sad.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. I a weird preference thing, but I definitely prefer this Borderless
The
one.
extended art reminds me more of the what was it, M12, M13 version.
Yeah.
That's been kind of the standard for quite a while. It's a little bit more sad. The original version, and then it got reprinted like once in Commander is kind of interesting too, because this was I believe a player design card from a champion. So the original art looks like a guy that you might see at your FNM.
It still looks kind of sad though.
Yeah.
And then the other one that you were talking about, the core 12 one, where he's like standing on a mountaintop, like clouds behind him. Again, looks sad, but I don't know. This one
was the art was in a Commander set a couple times ago. They changed it up. Some people like it. He looks kind of neat. Looks cool. He doesn't look like a sad robot though.
Could be sadder if you want the Borderless one. So that's what there you go. There's my hot.
I don't play Porter Robinson and think of Solemn Simulacrum. He's not my sad robot to my sad robot music. It's a multi-level joke there for all you sad robot music people. Look at Porter Robinson. He's got a great bunch of songs. I'm gonna be a sad robot if I don't get on a mythic here in a moment.
So yeah, we're getting down to right.
This is the end of the next 12. We got 12 more packs after this, and we've got a Maze Mind Tome that's not helped my feelings. I'm very sad now. I got a Tormod script. All right, Final 12 packs. Start off real strong. Let's see if we can finish strong. Yeah, there we go. An Elder Gargaroth. I don't know what a Gargaroth is, except it's good. It is a 5-mana 6/6 Vigilance, Reach, Trample. Whenever Elder Gargaroth attacks or blocks, choose one. Create a 3/3 green beast token, gain 3 life, or draw a card. So he's a big, beefy boy for a decent cost. Comes with a bunch of keywords that are all relevant on your big, beefy boys. And then you get to basically do whatever you need most at that point in the game whenever he attacks or blocks.
Pretty solid.
Yep. I'm sure it'll see some play in Standard, other formats. Osri's Lieutenant. I didn't get this one in the last box. 4-mana 3/4 Vigilance Protection from Multicolored. When Baz Lieutenant enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, and when he or another creature you control dies, add a 1/1 counter on it, create a 2/2 white knight token with Vigilance. So you got a bunch of kind of mechanics melting together there. You got some Knight Tribal, you got 1/1 Tribal, he's got Vigilance, and Protection from Multicolored, which I have not seen on a card in quite some time. So as someone who started playing off in a set that was 100% multicolored, seeing that on a card scares me.
And that counts towards if their summon cost was one color, and then they also had an ability that was
No,
color,
no.
or no. It has to be gold bordered.
Yes.
Gold bordered.
There's color identity and then card color. Color identity doesn't really care about these effects. It only really cares about like Commander, where that comes into play. Multicolored is always going to be the cost of this the creature or ability or spell.
Well, if this is to be believed, looks like there's about a little less than 20, but that includes stuff like the shrine on here, as far as in this set at least alone.
Yeah.
So not too many, but
Yeah, not maybe too relevant and like
Yeah,
limited,
yeah,
but
limited,
then
yeah.
you've got a 3/4 Vigilant body
yeah,
for 4 mana
Still a tough dude.
that gives dudes. When it dies, it gives you dudes.
Always never enough dudes. Where's my dude tribal?
I want more dudes. Let's dude deck. Ah, look who showed up.
Oh,
It's the
there it
weird
is.
token. I mentioned that earlier with one of the uncommon sorceries in the set. Gives you a neat little weird token. I think it's really flashy. They recently changed the way tokens look a few sets
Yeah, I'm
ago.
a fan of this like full art stuff that's
Yeah.
going on here.
I think it's hit or miss, but this is definitely like it really shines on this type of stuff. You can get foil versions of all the tokens in the collector boosters, and the weird one is beautiful.
Also, looks like more of a sad robot than the actual in-game sad robot.
Yeah, it looks like he just had a bad day.
Exactly.
He's not trying to destroy stuff. That's just how he is naturally. He's just going somewhere else. Demonic Brace. Animal Sanctuary. This is an interesting one. It's a colorless land. You can tap to add colorless. Or you can tap it and pay 2 to put a 1/1 counter on target bird, cat, dog, goat, ox, or snake. It's got some sweet art. You're building like Noah's Ark here with 2 of every animal type. Just kind of chilling. I don't know what the impact of this card will be immediately, but I think long-term, stuff like this always kind of gets a draw or a following. So it might be something in the future, whether it's actually from a deck that's utilizing it or just people like it. Tribal or weird type tribal in Commander has always kind of been a thing. We've got a couple like established. Bird, cat, dog are kind of like established now, getting tribal support as opposed to like goat, ox, or snake to a smaller extent. So you've got people who might have a lot of reasons to throw this in weird decks. So keep an eye out on your animal sanctuaries and keep an eye out on your animals.
Exactly.
Take care of your pets.
Come on.
Basri Solidarity.
Spay or neuter your oxen.
Yes, and your snakes. We've got Basri's Uncommon alternate showcase. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control for 2 mana. Sorcery. Solid. Goes well with his lieutenant. Goes well with his archetype. I feel that was on purpose. So here's another.
Oh yeah.
That's
Come
right.
on over. Join the party.
Not a good sign when you see multiple of those.
Exactly.
Here we've got the normal Scavenging Ooze. We have the extended art in the last box. Ghostly Pilferer, another spirit.
Is that a reprint? That name sounds familiar.
No, this is a new card. 2 mana, 2/1. When he becomes untapped, you may pay 2 mana if you do draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. That means the command zone. Discard a card. Ghostly Pilferer can't be blocked this turn. So he's got like some weird looting card draw effects going on. He can become unblockable. Not bad for a 2-drop. Spirit and Rogue are relevant, I feel, creature types in a couple formats.
Coming for that Grim Tutor book too.
Yep. Oh,
Not really, but
it kind of looks like it.
I mean, it's a book.
That's
so
that's my new
prove me
chosen
wrong.
lore.
Yeah, there's no blood on it yet.
Yeah. Well, we can fix that with our village rights. Oh God, we're creating a story.
Exactly.
It's all making sense now.
Who knew the Magic Gathering lore was so deep?
I knew they. Ooh, I see something special here.
Oh. I mean, first off, real quick, we haven't talked about it. That's my favorite sapperling.
Is it? Is it because it's a
good.
piece of like growth
It
with
looks-
a bunch
it
of wooden
looks so
spikes
good.
put in front of it?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think this one is it's pretty good. It's not one of my favorites.
What beats that?
I like the one from the Mycoloths, the sapperlings that guy makes technically, from again Alara. They're just kind of big, meaty pieces of plant.
How do you spell? Am I?
There's
Sapperling.
sapperling. Yeah, you gonna.
No, yeah, sorry. Just carry on.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
time.
So you wanted a sad robot before, right? You wanted a sad boy.
Uh-huh.
Well, what's if I gave you
Oh, a land. How did you know?
the saddest boy?
Oh,
Oh,
shiny too.
a shiny sad boy.
Aye, that is.
I cheated a little bit, but I've seen enough of these cards to tell what their borders look like. That is very nice. Look at that.
Very nice.
Where's the other set? Let's compare. Give me a second.
Exactly. Yeah. Tell me. Tell me.
Tell
that
me,
the
yeah.
original-
Tell
the
me which
original
one is
better.
solemn. Yeah.
Exactly.
Tell me which one's better.
Exactly,
This
yeah.
art or this extended foil version?
Yeah, doing an eye test right here.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number
Okay.
two.
We got this guy.
Exactly.
Kind of. What? I don't know what's going on.
emotions do you
Not
feel
even
inside?
centered on. We got like some thing going on in the background. It's taking my eyesight away. Oh boy, look at that.
That is.
Look at this.
Oh, what's up, Yo-Yo? Real quick, if you're just joining us now, we got a question here for you.
Okay.
When we talk about sad robots,
Yeah.
which one looks actually
Yeah.
sad?
Yeah. Is
Exactly.
this robot sad? Do you see the emotion in its like emotionless
Hold
face?
on, yeah. Let it focus on that one.
Yeah. Look at that boy.
You gotta move it up a little bit, have it cover more of the screen. Yeah, there we
Oh.
go. Yeah, right up on there. But yeah, do you think that robot is sad, or that's more angst? Like that's more like
Look.
anger. Like that's edgy.
That's like one of the Ultrons.
Exactly. It's also the fact that he's like black and red, whereas the other one like.
It evokes anger. So here's our other
Yeah.
contender.
Now, do you think? I mean, yeah, we got the art up on there too. But yeah, do you think that one actually looks sad? Like, look at him just staring off into the distance.
He picked up some earth just to like see
Yes.
what it. Yeah, he does look to like.
Thank you.
If not, it looks like he's just got a long journey ahead of him.
Yeah.
He's not looking forward to it. He might not have emotions or feelings or anything because he's just an automaton, but
you know what? He sure is solemn.
Yep.
And that's what we came here for.
That's going right up there. That's a
he looks
big
confused. Yeah, what is sand, he says.
Let's go. We're going through token art right now.
Yeah. Did I skim it?
I don't see it.
Sapperling?
Oh, no, right there. 2008.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Exactly. Thank you, Yo-Yo.
Yeah, well, this one's got spikes in it. We could use that for our village rites.
It's just the way in which it looks.
Okay. Also, from the rest of this pack, because there's still more behind the Solemn, we have Liliana Standard Bearer, the alternate version. Nice and purpley. We've gone over why that card's good earlier. Oh, here's another doggo. I don't recall seeing this one yet, or pointing it out. Selfless Savior. Look at this guy. There's like the art on him.
Yeah, I'll pop him up on screen. He's a cute little... He's like
Too bad you have to sacrifice him. I don't know whose idea was that, to put this cute, comedic looking, like, what is that, like a terrier or something?
Sure.
Also murder it.
Oh, man. You didn't even read the flavor text.
Oh.
She raised him from an orphan pup and gave him a life of love. With his last act, he thanked her. Man.
Yeah.
What is
It's just, and then you look at the art, and you got like this goofy cartoon.
Happy little sad boy, yeah. God.
You know, dar.
Man, magic. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the name, the ability, and the flavor text don't essentially match what's going on in the art.
Exactly.
And I love the art, and then everything else just becomes better. I don't know. Hey, it's a shiny meteorite. Those are the better meteorites.
Yeah, we're still at it. So we opened up one box. I think it's similar to Pokemon. Pokemon, I want to say, has... No, they don't have 36 packs in there. They have like...
I thought they did. I thought it's 36.
Okay, yeah. But yeah.
It's just tidier packed.
Exactly, yeah, you're right. So yeah, we opened up one box. It was 36 packs, and we're opening up the last box. We're on like the last 6 packs or so here, 5 or 6. So yeah, it took us about an hour for the first one. Yeah, we're just about wrapping up the second one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That dog looks derpy, but you gotta sacrifice him to keep yourself alive. So
it speaks a lot about our society. I feel.
The way that goes, yeah.
We didn't get this one in the last box. This is Peer into the Abyss. It's a 7-mana sorcery. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life. Round up each time. It's a pretty big effect, especially like in formats where you got larger decks, but you lose more life that way too. But the art on this one's sweet.
I was gonna say, I'm pulling up the art right now, but
this is by Izzy, who's been doing art for quite some time. It's a little unnerving without being too repulsive.
Yeah.
I don't like the imagery of like lips wrapped around someone's cranium, but here we have it. Also within eyes. There's a lot going on here.
Please, just go back to the dog.
But I want to peer into the abyss.
It's too far. Yeah, thank you. I agree.
Ooh, a foil cultivate. It's not the special version, but a foil cultivate is a foil cultivate. Primal Might. It's a big green ghost dinosaur. Target creature gets +X/+X end of turn, and then it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. You put it on a big, beefy trample guy, kill something, kill your opponent. Very green. Just a couple packs left. I'll just take this time to thank you all for watching. It's always enjoyable to crack packs. Hope you got something out of it. We got a bunch of magic cards. Spark Hunter Masticore. Haven't hit this one yet. It's a 3-mana 3/4. Not too bad. Has an additional cost to cast a spell. Discard a card. That's kind of bad. Protects you from planeswalkers. That's good. Spark Hunter Masticore deals 1 damage to target planeswalker. That's not bad either. And then he also gains indestructible in a turn. It's It's a lot of stuff going on a 3-mana 3/4. It only costs you a single card. Maybe it's one you want in your graveyard. Who knows?
Did you answer yours thing? I just got back. Sorry.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Are there any really broken cards in the card game? Yeah,
Well-
that's like a multi-layered question there, because between like the different formats, right?
Well, you say like
allows certain cards to interact that never would.
broken is kind of like a subjective. Broken in terms, usually if a card's broken, it'll get banned or it's restricted, and then broken can vary from format to format. There's probably some broken cards in this standard set. You could argue Ugin is broken, maybe this Teferi is broken. It just depends. Broken usually comes down not from the individual card. When you like look at it as a standalone, it's like, oh, this card has so many things it can do. It's colorless. It has a decent body and toughness. It's broken. Well, it's only really broken if it's kind of warping the format around it.
Yeah.
If you're not playing Spark Hunter, and that means you're losing because you only get to win if you play with your Spark Hunter, and I played my Spark Hunter first against your Spark Hunter, that means I win. That is broken, generally. I would say for, more recent sets, they don't usually print, and they used to not print broken cards in standard sets. The past year or so has had a higher uptick in that. I think that comes from a design philosophy shift. We'll see if they bring it back a bit. But then there's like cards from the first few sets of Magic, which are broken because they just fundamentally wreck the game due to how powerful they are.
And say, if you like do 2 or 3 turns and win the game, there's definitely like ways to win super quick.
Right.
Again, it depends on the format and what you have available. I assume that there's also like
there's variation.
Turn 1 wins.
There's technically turn 0 wins.
That's true, yeah.
One of the first decks I built out of spite was a turn 0 win deck. When I first started playing Magic, everyone I knew was dropping cash to buy cards, and that's kind of how the economy went. If you wanted to build a better deck, you spent some money. Well, as the community grew, you got individuals who were like proxying very powerful cards. It's like, well, why don't I just do that? So I Googled what's the most degenerate deck ever, which was a turn 0 Flash Hulk deck. And I proxied the whole thing, even the basic lands. I wrote islands on my swamp, just to kind of prove a point. So yeah, that's a thing. Speaker of the Heavens is an interesting little guy. He's a 1-mana 1/1 human cleric, vigilance lifelink. Interesting on a 1/1, but also you can tap him to make a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Activate this ability only if you've got 7 or more starting life in your original life total. And only do it as a sorcery. So it's kind of a weak card by itself. It's just a 1-mana 1/1 vigilance lifelink. Those exist, but if you are on the life train, you are going to be pumping out big beefy flyers for nothing. All right, Mage Mutt hiding in the back.
And we're down to it, last pack.
This is the last pack.
Is Paul like the Magic specialist? I think he's more of the Yu-Gi-Oh specialist, but he knows his way around.
You take that
Magic.
back.
Yeah.
Hey, is the Yu-Gi-Oh expert in?
Oh, we got him right on camera. Thank you. But yes, Paul knows quite a bit about not only Magic again, because like you can know a lot about Magic but only know a lot about Standard, and then you can know a lot about Magic but only know about like
Magic's
the different formats.
interesting beast. It's been around for 25 years and has gone through many changes. So being a specialist in it can kind of like you can kind of split that up. Being a specialist in all of Magic's very few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
Like even my knowledge of the game is limited. Goes back pretty. A little sneak peek right there. My Magic. I've been playing the game for the better part of a decade, and I've had friends who got me into it who've been playing for much longer. So you just play long enough, and you'll pick up a lot of the information and learn a lot that there is. But like I couldn't tell you too much about like the original stuff outside of what they do, as opposed to the impact that they had when they first came out. Last pack here, it's a doozy. We've got a double vision. We didn't get that from the last box. 5 mana red enchantment. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. That's kind of neat. Everyone likes doubling spells. What's a good spell to double? I don't know. Maybe this Grim Tutor.
Oh, hello.
Here is the extended art Grim Tutor. That's one of the big hits of this set. Look at that. Let's look at.
Yeah, I take it back. Coolest art in the set, probably this Grim Tutor. Give me 1 second to pull it up on the screen here, but that is some last pack magic happening right there.
Yep. We're low on mythics. It's still kind of a low mythic box, but we had 2 very big. We've had some.
Got the mythics, right?
Yeah. We no Oogie.
That's true.
But we got them in the last. We got 2 in the last box. We got Teferi. We got a foil Solemn Simulacrum, which is great, and then we got a Grim Tutor alternate. So I'd be very happy. That's some sweet art right there. That's the book you want to steal.
Hell yeah. Yeah, like that takes me back to like back when I was collecting Magic. It was just for like, I feel like most of the cards that I collected were black cards, because like look at that, like you don't get this
really
like, white
you
card.
you just kept
yeah.
okay.
It's like, yeah, there's my man. Even great flavor text.
Yeah.
Text, as the blood touched the empty page, it formed words that seared themselves into the wizard's mind. Like, that's so good.
This is a Escape the Dark Castle
exactly.
tier
And
card.
it's just a good card too. So
Yeah.
you get a little of everything. Cool art, cool flavor.
That's definitely what you want to pilfer.
Cool format. Yeah, exactly. There it is. Yeah.
Grab that.
Man.
Yeah.
No, you don't get that in Pokemon Yo-Yo. That's the one thing that I.
You get rainbow rares.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, and that does it for box 2. Ended on a fairly high note here.
Box 2.
Going into the last third of the box, we only had a few mythics here to show,
Man.
and then hot Chimama. Look at that.
Kind of want to keep opening them, but I feel like we got them all. That's it.
Oh, we don't. There's more.
Magic has been solved.
I need more, and we'll possibly open up some more tomorrow. You said?
Yeah, I think probably tomorrow. So we are still open. Tomorrow is 4th of July for our
Hooray.
non-American friends. But yeah, we're gonna take time away from grilling to crack open some. I think probably some more packs. You're gonna be here, right, Paul?
I will be here.
So we'll probably be the same combo of Paul and I sitting down looking at some more boxes, seeing one of the chase cards that we haven't gotten yet. But we got quite a few here. And just a reminder, the stuff will be listed on pastimes.net hopefully soon. Now that we've cracked them open, if there's anything that anybody saw, feel free to let us know. Call the store, give us a shout out. Oh yeah, definitely. Yo-Yo asks, I think Magic is more expensive than Pokemon, right?
It can depend. It really depends on like how you want to play it. There's very cheap decks in Magic. There's very expensive decks in Pokemon. But I would say if you average them out, I would say Pokemon's cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't play that format because I can't speak from experience, but just based off the way pricing works here at the store.
Yeah.
Ooh, look
Sorry.
at that.
I'm blessing the cards, but now it's the camera acting up. But yeah. Also the fact that like Magic has 25 years, and then obviously like some of those very expensive cards. Like there's, I don't know if you're familiar, Yo-Yo, with Black Lotus. That card could definitely go, in the original alpha formats.
Yeah.
It's like what, upwards of
Several thousands,
to, like,
like at like a
8,000 or so.
normal like beat up version, but can
So-
like go for many times more of that.
Whereas the main one that Pokemon has, obviously, is not necessarily the art. That can help.
Oh, no.
Oh, I guess if you mean Pokemon, yeah, the art. That does kind of happen in Magic to some degree too. Of like a cool art version of the same exact card can usually go for more, but
It's not too much of a factor usually, where like this card is only $1, but like this art version of it is like $20. You don't usually get that effect. You usually get where like this card's $10, but if you want like this version of it, it's going to cost you $13, $15, something like that.
Yeah.
It also comes down to rarity.
Yeah, if
like
the
these
cooler
are
art was like the older version, that means it's harder to find usually. So
like availability, how much it was actually printed, how much existed when it first came out. Like these are all cards in a standard set, so they're going to be getting opened in boxes like this all over the country, as opposed to maybe like a version of Grim Tutor with slightly different art from the one shown here that was only sent out to like judges. So that one would be probably much more expensive, just due to the fact that like it's not easily accessible and also different.
calm down. And then also what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Yo-Yo. I'm talking about deck creating. Like in general, like Pokemon is pretty cheap. Magic can be pretty cheap too. They have what are called like the Planeswalker decks that are like pre constructed decks that go like $12, $15.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, at Yo-Yo are there cards with the same attacks and abilities but with different names?
Yeah, those are called functional reprints. It's just generally where they might have a card that does something, but its name or something about it invokes the characteristics or places of another setting in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I wanted to reprint this Liliana Standard Bearer in a set without Liliana, I would probably have to change its name. I could keep a zombie knight that costs 3 mana and is a 3/1 with flash and does this and do a functional reprint it and call Undead Standard Bearer. Doesn't happen too often because they don't really always need to repeat those effects on normal cards. But you'll see it there was a zombie we got earlier. This is a walking corpse. This is as vanilla as Magic gets. It's a 2-mana 2/2. They can play around with this. They change its name, change its creature type. But you could keep a black and 1 2/2 zombie and just change its name to be Liliana's corpse or whatever.
No.
Uh-oh.
Spoilers.
So stuff like that exists in Magic. It doesn't usually have too much of an effect because they're not going to take a card like Sanctum of All and then be Shrine of All, and it's the same thing but with a different name, because they try to avoid stuff like that, especially on legendary cards, because they're made legendary usually to avoid having the same effect happen on the board. So you wouldn't just get around the legendary effect by changing its name. It would defeat the purpose of making the original card legendary. But yeah, that's about the gist of it. So you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm just popping this up here in case Yo-Yo wants to see. This is probably the most Pokemon kind of card. I feel like that's something that could kind of come up on Pokemon. Like you've got Meowth, Persian, and a bunch of other cards. So I don't know.
Bunch of Persians above them.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming on out. Again, these cards will be available online after the stream here. Feel free to let us know if you're interested in any. Yo-Yo likes 9 lives. But yeah, we will be back tomorrow. I believe the store closes at 6, so probably around similar time of 4 till 6 Central Time here. Cracking open a couple more boxes and seeing what we get.
Yep.
So thanks for coming out, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Take care.